tracks in the sand. Hole punches, fighters, conspiracies tight. He's podcasting strong, deep into the night. From the man from UNCLE to the Motown scene. He's dropping gems like you never seen. Oh, you know Tom Gulley, he's the podcast king. Say what? Ladies man with a smooth, sweet swing. Bigfoot, spider, and 9/11 schemes. Tom's a man of your wildest dreams. Tom Gulley, he's got charm, got wit, and a silky flow. Oh yeah, talking mysteries only Tom would know. From R&B to the funk so tight, so tight. He's spinning webs like a spider at night. Woo! His voice is smooth like a Motown jam. Ooh-wee. You can't help but say that's my man. Oh yeah, Tom Gulley, he's the podcast king. Ladies man with a smooth, sweet swing. Ooh. Bigfoot, spiders, and 9/11 schemes. Tom's the man of your wildest dreams. Tom Gulley, I'm gonna, Tom Gulley, I'm gonna, Tom Gulley, I'm gonna, Tom Gulley, I'm gonna, It was late, one even, smooth and mellow and sweet. Tom Gulley on the airwaves, laying down that beat. He heard a little rustle, tapping soft and discreet. Turned around and saw some spiders dancing on their feet. All their legs were shiny gold, and the rhythm pure heat. He thought, hold on baby, these little fellas groove kinda crazy, and the whole room lit like a disco dream. Oh, that was the night the spiders attacked, but with disco hearts, baby, nothing got whacked. Skittering, jittering, never losing the tact. Tom Gulley smiling, feeling all the impact. Oh honey, no one got sacked on the night. Oh, the night, the night, the night the spiders attacked. Christian Slater walks in with his Hollywood stride, leather jacket shimmering, grin open wide. He saw those tiny dancers moving side to side. Didn't take a minute for the man to join the ride. Every spider in the room kept the groove amplified. The lights flickered bright like a Motown stage. Silky harmonies floating like we'd turn a new page. Spiders tapping rhythm like a miniature band. Oh, that was the night the spiders attacked, but with disco hearts, baby, nothing got whacked. Skittering, jittering, never losing the tact. Groove so smooth it bordered on abstract. Oh honey, no one got sacked on the night, the night
Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking? The night the spiders attacked from Leon Kennedy. Another great song. More on the horizon, I've been told. As a holiday treat coming up any day now. Let me tell you about Lee Marvin before I do. Let me ask you to do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. All the things you can do to help our microscopically small show with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-knowing algorithm. Plus, we do have memberships. We do have super chats. That helps us out a little bit, a little something for the effort. Also, we have the PayPal, and that's where you give the most, I get the most. Google don't get nothing. All of that is in the description of our YouTube show. And if you're listening on Podbean, it's in the description of our YouTube show. Plus, you can go to the TomGulleyShow.com. We're converting not all, but most of our video streams to audio-only podcasts. Or you can go to our Podbean site. So if you're the kind of person that's a truck driver or that just moves around the house doing work or whatever, that you just want the audio, you don't have to look at my face. I don't recommend that you look at my face. That's a bad idea. In a minute, you'll get to see Lee Marvin when I tell you about Lee Marvin. Different story there. But if you just want the audio only, that's how to get it. And we appreciate all your help and your support. And you're the best. A few quick comments from our chat room. Judy Tester's here. She says hi. Leon Kennedy says, I'm patiently waiting for him to send me a Christmas song. I've heard a little taste of the Christmas song. It's freaking awesome. The chef is in the house. Always good to see him. And Chris is here from up there in Canada. My one and native land. Chef says, but we won't be able to see your ring. Yes, the ring of power and justice. Well, you can just imagination, theater of the mind. That's what radio is. Tonight I'm going to tell you about a legendary Hollywood actor and just the coolest guy ever. His name is Lee Marvin. And some of you might not know who he is if you're younger. I want to start off, though, by playing something. Lee Marvin was in World War II. And Lee Marvin was a very straight shooter as a person. And he was on Dick Cavett, which was a very popular talk show. You can see a really good talk show, too. You can see Dick Cavett on YouTube. You can see tons of interviews with Lee Marvin on YouTube as well. And he was known for not liking to do interviews. But when he did, sometimes he had a good time. But he was refreshingly not Hollywood. He was in World War II. He was very decorated during World War II. I'll get into that in just a second. But to start things off, I thought it might set the tone if I played you a little bit of this interview. And I mean a little bit, a snip. You're not going to need much. Oh, wait a minute. I got to do something here first. I completely forgot to do it. Had all this time before the show started and didn't do it. I feel shame. But it's done now. Here we go.
Could I ask you where you were wounded during the war?
Yes, I was shot in the ass. That's unusual.
I hate a guest who won't be specific.
There's a little more to it than that, but that's Lee Marvin. He didn't candy coat it. He didn't make himself out to be, I guess you heard it. So there. That's Lee Marvin. I don't know what to say. That's who Lee Marvin was. Anyway, if you've never seen Lee Marvin, I might as well show him to you now. This is what he looks like. Oh, gosh, I got to get down here a little ways. Yeah, there he is. This is him from the Marines. When he was in the Marines, he was actually known as a tough guy in the movies. He was at first a villain, and I mean the most villainous villain you could possibly ever know. And then he became kind of this heroic anti-establishment kind of actor. He was a heavy, though, in his first movies. I'll get into some of those. He had a lot of success on television and a lot of success in the movies. He grew up, I won't say privileged, but he did go to some private schools and things. He was kicked out of most of them. He really enjoyed not going to school and was not a good student. He spent his weekends and spare times hunting deer, puma, wild turkey, in the Everglades when they lived down there. He did live in New York for the first part of his life. And eventually he enlists in the United States Marine Corps. And this is his Marine Corps photo. Before finishing the School of Infantry, he was a quartermaster. He served in the 4th Marine Division as a scout sniper in the Pacific Theater during World War II. That is a dangerous and important job. You are not just a sniper, you're a scout sniper. You're going into areas where there could be, heavy enemy concentrations. And he was involved in the assaults of Kwajalein, Eniwetok, and Saipan. Maybe he knew my uncle. My uncle was at Saipan, was wounded there. While serving as a member of the I Company, 3rd Battalion, 24th Marines, 4th Marine Division, he participated in 21 amphibious assaults on Japanese-held islands. He was, as he mentioned, wounded in action June 18th, 1944, while taking part in the assault on Mount Tapachau during the Battle of Saipan, which was a very, very nasty affair, during which time most of his company were casualties. He was hit by machine gun fire, as you heard him say, somewhat unceremoniously, which severed his sciatic nerve, and then subsequently was hit in the foot by a sniper. Had about a year of medical treatment in naval hospitals. He was given a medical discharge with the rank of private first class. He had previously held the rank of corporal, but he was demoted for troublemaking. He got the Purple Heart, the Presidential Unit Citation, the American Campaign Medal, the Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal, the World War II Victory Medal, and the Combat Action Ribbon. So he was a somewhat decorated soldier during World War II. Now, after the war, he started working as I think it was a sort of a plumber's assistant in Woodstock. We've heard of Woodstock, the famous concert up there in upstate New York. And he was asked to replace an actor who had gotten ill during rehearsals. Well, he really had a good time acting, and so he got a job with that acting company for $7 a week. And he subsequently moved to Greenwich Village in New York and used the GI Bill to study at the American Theater. He appeared in some stage performances, and then because television at the time was based mostly in New York. There was some things happening in Los Angeles, but the whole industry hadn't really moved to LA yet. And so while he was on Broadway and on the stage, he was in TV shows like Escape, The Big Story, Treasury Men in Action, and eventually got into the movies. He was in a movie, his debut, and You're in the Navy Now in 1951, directed by a very well-known director, Henry Hathaway. And it was also the debut of Charles Bronson and Jack Warden. And part of that required him to do a little bit of filming in Hollywood. And he decided, I'm going to stay here. I like Hollywood. He had some small parts in some other movies. And he started getting cast in war movies because he was a natural for it. You know, he He would assist the director and other actors in realistically portraying infantry movement and even with costuming and the use of firearms. He guest starred on episodes of Fireside Theater, Suspense, and Rebound, while also doing other movies like Diplomatic Courier and Duel at Silver Creek, Hangman's Knot. He guest starred on a lot of other TV shows, including Dragnet. He was in a really gritty World War II picture called 8 Iron Men in 1942. And if you ever see it, man, oh man, it was converted from a stage play, and he is fabulous in that movie. If you get a chance, you might want to take a pen and pencil out, because I'm going to tell you about some movies you really, really will enjoy. And 8 Iron Men is one of them. He was in sort of a lot of Westerns. And as I mentioned, all of the war-type films that he was in, which were common at the time, both Westerns and war films. He guest starred in The Doctor, the Revlon Mirror Theater, Suspense, the Motorola Television Hour. He was in The Stranger Wore a Gun, a movie with Randolph Scott, and Gun Fury with Rock Hudson. But his big sort of breakout performance came in The Big Heat. The Big Heat, one of the absolute greatest film noir movies you're ever going to see. And he was a vicious villain in this movie. And he did something which at the time was just not done in a movie. Gloria Graham, who was his girlfriend in the movie, he got mad at her and took scalding hot coffee and disfigured her face by throwing it into her face. Just shocking at the time. Just people couldn't even believe it. Marlon Brando was a huge star at the time and was coming, up and just taking the United States by storm. And he was in a big picture with Marlon Brando called The Wild One. And he was kind of the second lead in that. And that was another big movie kind of breakout role for him. And the whole time, he is still in TV shows. And these are TV shows that were largely named after the sponsors at the time, the Plymouth Playhouse and the Pepsi-Cola Playhouse. And he was in the Caine Mutiny in a small role. He was in a movie that you're going to want to write the name down. Now, he had not a big role in this movie, but he's in it with Ernest Borgnine and Spencer Tracy, and it's called Bad Day at Black Rock. A fascinating movie. Absolutely fascinating. Check it out. He played with Robert Mitchum and Frank Sinatra in a movie called Not as a Stranger. So he was appearing with some, Hollywood heavyweights. He's getting bigger and bigger and bigger all the time. This is him in The Twilight Zone. He was in 2 episodes of The Twilight Zone. This is not my favorite episode. He was actually in an episode that predicted the future. I think it was 1975 or something, 25 years into the future or so. And he played a guy that was a boxer, but by this time, robots had taken over boxing. His robot malfunctioned and couldn't fight, so he goes in and fights the other robot. It's a really good episode of The Twilight Zone. He was in big movies like Pete Kelly's Blues, and still on these big TV shows, the Fireside Theater, Studio One in Hollywood. He was in I Died 1,000 Times with Jack Palance. He just kept getting bigger and bigger roles in the movies and still on television. He was in The Rack with Paul Newman. He was in a movie called Raintree County with Elizabeth Taylor and Montgomery Clift. And continuing on television into the late 50s in Climax, Studio 57, the United States Steel Hour, and Schlitz Playhouse. Then another big break comes for him. All right. He gets cast as the leading role in a TV series called M Squad. And he plays Chicago police officer Frank Ballinger. One critic described it as a hyped-up, violent dragnet with hard-as-nails Marvin playing a tough police lieutenant. And he got that role for playing a serial killer on Dragnet. But he was Frank Ballinger, and it's 100 episodes. This is not a small TV show that was on for 5 minutes. It was a very popular show. And there he is also as Frank Ballinger. And this is Lee Marvin, square-jawed, just a tough guy in just about everything he was in. He continues on television. Westinghouse Desilu Playhouse, NBC Sunday Showcase, The Barbara Stanwyck Show, The Americans, Wagon Train, Checkmate, General Electric Theater, Alcoa Premiere, The Investigators, Route 66, Ben Casey, hugely popular medical drama of the time, Bonanza, The Untouchables, and he was on The Untouchables many times. He was on The Virginian, which was a big Western. And he was on, as I mentioned, The Twilight Zone twice and Dick Powell Theater. Really big TV shows. Then he gets another of his most signature roles in The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. It is difficult for me to communicate to people that don't know about this movie what a giant movie it was. It was directed by John Ford, one of the top directors in Hollywood, a household name. Jimmy Stewart's in it. John Wayne is in it. And the theme song, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, he shot Liberty Valance, he was the bravest of them all, was a giant hit song. Well, Lee Marvin played the vicious, despicable Liberty Valance in that film. And he holds his own with two of the biggest movie stars on the planet, Jimmy Stewart and John Wayne. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He did all that stuff. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness gracious. Let's see here. We've got Chris saying snipers are some of the most disciplined men. You wait for days sometimes just to get the shot. Well, a sniper does that, yes. He was a scout sniper. So he is scouting where the enemy is. He couldn't really wait that long. I mean, he had to find a place, and the wolf is here with us. I know the wolf appreciates Lee Marvin. The chef says The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is an amazing movie. Okay, so while he's doing these giant movies and making a bigger and bigger and bigger name for himself in the movie business, he's still on TV. He's in The Virginian some more. He's on Combat, giant successful war TV show. Dr. Kildare, Bonanza, just the biggest shows on TV. He's on those too. He was also in a movie called The Killers. The Killers. And he's a professional assassin in that one. Let's see. I think I do have a. There we go. Yes, he's in this movie, The Killers. He's on. Ronald Reagan is in this movie, but he's on there with Clu Gallagher, who was kind of a big star at the time. But Angie Dickinson, John Cassavetes. This was a giant movie, and he received top billing in it. Originally, they had made this for television. Guess what? They went, this is too good for TV. We're going to release it as a film. And it did very, very, very well. Now, up to this point, he'd been kind of typecast He really had been. Oh, and I didn't put the movie poster for this one up. Let me just give you another picture of him here. I'll give you one of the old pictures. Let me put M Squad back up there. Okay, so he's kind of typecast, right? As a tough guy, as a macho tough guy. He finally becomes a just even bigger star than he ever was before, and one of the top stars in Hollywood for his dual role in this offbeat comedic Western called Cat Ballou, which starred Jane Fonda. This movie was a surprise hit, and for his role, Lee Marvin won the Academy Award for Best Actor. All right? Now he's starting to get big roles, dramatic roles in like Ship of Fools, or a very, very highly regarded Western called The Professionals. And he's in that one with Burt Lancaster, Robert Ryan, Woody Strode, and Claudia Cardinal. And he had top billing to Burt Lancaster. Then comes one of the roles he is probably most remembered for, and that is, yes, The Dirty Dozen. If you haven't seen The Dirty Dozen, you gotta see it. You gotta see it. All right? The Dirty Dozen, his role is unforgettable in that. And he said at the time that his Marine Corps experience helped really define the way he played that role, because he did it how I felt an officer should be seen, from the bias of an enlisted man's viewpoint. And he was outstanding in it, in The Dirty Dozen. The Dirty Dozen was a smash. I mean, it was a giant hit. It plays even today on all the movie channels. It's quite a film. And star-studded. It's just loaded with stars. Absolutely loaded with stars. Then he was in a movie that I think he was quite proud of, and it's a great film, called Point Blank. And he had enormous control of this movie because he became such a big star. He was a hard-nosed criminal bent on revenge, and he selected the director. He had a central role in the development and the plot and everything else. And Point Blank is another masterpiece. He appeared in a good movie, but it didn't do well at the box office, Hell in the Pacific. It's known as one of your better war movies. He was in the just ill-fated Paint Your Wagon, just a terrible, terrible film. He was originally cast to be in The Wild Bunch, but did not like director Sam Peckinpah, and he said, "Forget it, I'm out of here." And he would do that. He was his own man. And in the 70s, he didn't play as many bad guy roles. He had like a whole bunch of varied roles. He was in one of the best Westerns you're ever going to see, like a real Western about real cowboys. Not a gunslinger movie, but a cowboy movie called Monty Walsh. And Jack Palance is in that one too. He's in a movie, and this is one you won't hear about and you won't see very often. Write it down. It's a movie called Prime Cut with Gene Hackman. He was with Paul Newman again in Pocket Money. He just kept cranking out the hits. Now, during this time, he was offered the role of Quint in Jaws. And he said, "No, what would I tell my fishing friends who'd see me come off as a hero against a dummy shark?" He was a very avid fisherman and liked living on a boat and working on a boat. He starred with Roger Moore in Shout at the Devil, which was a World War I adventure. Really good movie and a big commercial success. He was the lead in a movie called The Great Scout and Cathouse Thursday, which was a comedic Western. Did not do well with the critics. His last big one, was another movie, if you haven't seen it, you must see. And that is The Big Red One. It is a World War II movie. It is extremely realistic. It's probably the most realistic portrayal of a unit in World War II until Saving Private Ryan. Samuel Fuller, who was a director known to do gritty, realistic movies, low budget usually, but he got a big budget for this one. And he hit it out of the park. And he said Lee Marvin's character was the carpenter of death. The sergeants of this world have been dealing death to young men for 10,000 years. And that's a big part of his role, is he's got to figure out who's going into the dangerous place. It's a really, really good movie. It was said that this is one of Lee Marvin's most brilliant performances. In 1981, he co-starred with Charles Bronson in a movie that's it's awesome. It's called Death Hunt. And it's a fictionalized account of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police pursuing a man called Albert Johnson. And it was a giant box office hit. In 1984, he was in a movie called Gorky Park, which was disappointing to Lee Marvin. He thought he was typecast, but it was a giant smash hit at the box office. In 1985, he played in really kind of his last role. He was in a movie called The Delta Force in 1986, but it was I own that film, and it's awful. It's not that good. And it was a huge smash at the box office because Chuck Norris was also in it. But the Dirty Dozen, The Next Mission, was a television movie, and it was a sequel to The Dirty Dozen that picked up where his character left off. There were some of the original cast, but if you've seen The Dirty Dozen, you really couldn't have much of the cast there. That was Lee Marvin. Now, his personal life, he was married to a woman named Betty Ebeling in 1952. They had 4 children, a son and 3 daughters. They separated for 2 years and divorced in 1967. In her book, she claims he had an affair with actress Anne Bancroft. Well, he then ran into a woman named Michelle Triola. And what you guys don't know, but people my age know, is that Lee Marvin was involved in the first big community property case. Okay? He's with Michelle Triola after that blows up, and I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. He married his childhood sweetheart, Pamela Feely, in 1970, and they remained married until he died. And after his death, she wrote and published Lee, a Romance, about 10 years after his death. So in 1971, Michelle Triola, who is a Fruit Loop. I mean, I'll tell you about some things here. One thing I'm going to tell you about her, you're going to go, oh yeah, she's not all there. She was his live-in girlfriend from 1965 to 1970, during which time she had her last name legally changed to Marvin so people would think they were married, and they weren't. After they broke up, she sought financial compensation similar to what a spouse would get, alimony, community property type stuff. She claimed a whole bunch of evil things about him, and the result was the landmark palimony case, Marvin versus Marvin. Now, in 1979, because this went on, dragged on for years and years and years and years, it was the subject of all the tabloids and talk show jokes and everything else. In 1979, he was ordered to pay $104,000 to her for rehabilitation purposes. But the court denied her the community property claim for half of the $3.6 million Marvin had earned during their 6 years of living together, distinguishing non-marital relationships, with marital relationships. In August of 1981, 2 years later, the California Court of Appeals nullified the award that she received. And this is the truth. She died of lung cancer October 30th, 2009, after having been with Dick Van Dyke, of all people, since 1976. 37 years, I guess. Later, there was controversy after Lee Marvin characterized the trial as a circus, saying everyone was lying, even I lied. That was Lee Marvin. He would just tell you the unvarnished truth. There were official comments about possibly charging Marvin with perjury, but nothing ever came of it. Anyway, let's see what we got here in our chat room. By the way, like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. Man, it only costs you a click. It would really help us out. We need to grow this little show and bore more people to death. And also we have super chats and we have memberships. You can gift those or you can get one for yourself. We have PayPal, where you give the most, I get the most. Google don't get nothing. All of that stuff is in the description of our YouTube show. And then you can go to the Tom Gulley Show, which has .com, which has a zillion podcasts, and we're converting more and more and more of our live streaming video shows to podcasts. Or you can go to Podbean. All of it's in the description of our YouTube show. And on the TomGulleyShow.com, our merchandise store is there. And that's in the description of the show. So any of that stuff you want to do, go ahead, do it. It's the holiday season. Wouldn't one of your loved ones like a Tom Gulley Show clock? I think so. Anyway. Well, all good things. Oh, let's get to some of these comments. Brian Clowder's here. Good to see him. All right. The Wolf says, a crowd favorite, The Killers. It's a really good movie. He made so many good movies. A chef saying hi to Brian. Writer Albert Lanier says, I always preferred Hell in the Pacific Palisades when I was a kid. Was that near Anaheim, I think? He also said The Big Red One is important because it was directed by Sam Fuller, a director venerated in Europe and ignored in the U.S. So Fuller and Marvin in the same film is highly attractive for film buffs. Sam Fuller didn't make a lot of movies. He wasn't super prolific. But the movie Shock Corridor is one of the most riveting movies you're ever going to see. And so is The Big Red One. So writer Albert Lanier says that was the breakthrough palimony case in American law. Yes, it was. I did not know Triola had been involved with Dick Van Dyke. That is a surprise. Albert, I didn't know that either till I did this research. Chef says, I didn't know she was with Dick Van Dyke. Interesting. Yeah, she was. A couple other things here real quick. There is a tongue-in-cheek secret society dedicated to Lee Marvin called the Sons of Lee Marvin. I mentioned this the other night when I was sort of teasing this show. The sole entry for requirement into the club is that one must have a physical resemblance to plausibly look like the son of Lee Marvin. The founding member of this club is film director Jim Jarmusch, who looks a lot like Lee Marvin, hair and everything else. He said, if you could be a son of Lee Marvin, you are instantly thought of by the sons of Lee Marvin to be a son of Lee Marvin. Now, here are some of the members, mostly actors and musicians. And by the way, it's all tongue-in-cheek and not really official, right? So you got Tom Waits, who we're going to do a show on, John Lurie, musician Nick Cave, director John Borman is an honorary member because he directed so many movies with Lee Marvin in them. Tom Waits designed the elaborate business cards for members. Others rumored to be members, because you see, it's all rumored and they don't talk about who's a member. Thurston Moore, Iggy Pop, Josh Brolin, and Neil Young, though none has been formally recognized by the society, which refuses to disclose its inner workings to the public. The society meets occasionally to watch Lee Marvin movies. And the members perpetuate this joke in the media. Tom Waits told Rolling Stone in 1986, somewhere between the Elks Club and the Academy Awards is where they meet, and says he claims to have met Jarmusch at an annual meeting of the New York chapter. Jim Jarmusch said, I'm not at liberty to divulge information about the organization other than to tell you it does exist. And he identified 3 members, and he said, you have to have a facial structure such that you could be related to or be a son of Lee Marvin. There are no women, obviously, in the organizations. We have communiques and secret meetings. Other than that, I can't talk about it. There you go. The Sons of Lee Marvin. I think that's hilarious. I wish I was one of them. Anyway, Lee Marvin. Let's see. A heavy smoker and drinker. All of the interviews I told you about that are on YouTube, just type in Lee Marvin interview. There's a bunch of them. He is chain smoking. He was a heavy smoker. He was a heavy drinker. And he had health problems by the end of his life. In December of 1986, he was hospitalized for more than 2 weeks because of a condition related to coccidioid mycosis. It's a fungal disease. It's a fungus. He went into in your lungs and stuff. He went into respiratory distress and was administered steroids to help his breathing. He had major intestinal ruptures as a result of the steroids and underwent a colectomy, not a colonoscopy, but it is part of the colon, though. And he died of a heart attack on August 29th, 1987, age 63, and was buried with full military honors at Arlington National Cemetery. And his headstone, as you can see, is right there. Only 63 years old. That was the legend and the tough guy and the man's man. The man's man that was the late, great Lee Marvin. And that's what I got to tell you about Lee Marvin. Writer Albert Lanier says, Shock Corridor, good choice there. It's amazingly good. The Wolf says, Palisades is in Malibu. Wolf says, he's not at liberty to discuss it. Sounds like 2001, Dr. Floyd. Yeah. So that's all I got to tell you about Lee Marvin. I can tell you that the shows this week are going to be awesome. Tomorrow night, we will, at 7 o'clock Eastern, we will talk about the Sydney funnel web spider, the spider on Earth with the most potent venom on the globe. On Tuesday night, we will discuss legendary B-movie producer, director, and occasionally an actor, Roger Corman. We'll cover Roger Corman. On Wednesday, we will discuss the Indiana State Fair gas explosion in the Coliseum there in 1963 that killed 81 people. You never hear about it, but that's what happened. And on Thursday, we will discuss the still puzzling, inexplicable disappearance of TV news anchor woman Jody Huizentrout. Jody Huizentrud. It will befuddle you as it has people since, I believe, is it 91 or 95? A long time. They're still looking. Disappeared without a trace. Lots of, as usual, crazy details. Here's another scene from Attack with Lee Marvin. That's Eddie Albert. You can see he was known as a tough guy. He's being a tough guy right there. He's tough guying it up. I did make sure I showed all the photos because I got a lot of photos for this particular episode. Yes, he was being a tough fella. So anyway, if you got any, see, Chef said, I had a colostomy for 5 years also. Ouch. That's no fun. That's no fun for some of you who weren't here. Let me just go ahead and I'm going to play this clip from an episode of the Dick Cavett Show where you can see how Lee Marvin was a straight shooting dude. He was just brutally honest, and he didn't care. He just didn't care. Did not care. Here you go.
Could I ask you where you were wounded during the war?
Yes, I was shot in the ass.
Good.
That's unusual.
I hate a guest who won't be specific.
I wish I could say something else, because I know that when I finally got home, I had written my mother saying that I'd been injured, so don't be disturbed by the telegram.
Anyway, yeah, he was just blunt and to the point. And his interviews are kind of like the Robert Mitchum interviews. I mean, you ask him a question, if he didn't want to answer it, he'd say, I don't think that's any of your business. Or, I mean, he was real all the time. Just absolutely genuine and spectacular on screen. Just a really great actor. All of those movies I mentioned, The Big Heat, The Killers, Raw Meat, Point Blank. There's just too many that he's just so great. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. He was so good at playing an evil, despicable guy. And then he becomes this kind of, uncompromising anti-establishment hero. And in things like The Dirty Dozen and, he just, watch them all. He's great in all of them. And if you like a little comedy, Cat Ballou. Watch Cat Ballou. That's what he won his Oscar for. But very busy actor. Tons of television. Just tons. And let me see here. Where's the thing where... maybe he doesn't have a filmography page. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Lot of good movies. Anyway, that's all I got to tell you about Lee Marvin. What do we got here? We got 16 minutes left, 15 and a half minutes. I don't know what I'm going to do except tap dance or something. It is a Sunday. I already told you the shows for next week. We do have other topics coming down the pike. We will tell you about Peter Lorre, USS Liberty, the Polygraph Machine. Let's see what else we got here on this thing. Charles Bukowski, Tom Waits, Texas Guinan. We will discuss the Magic 8 Ball and the Etch-a-Sketch in two separate shows. What else do we got here? Whiteout. We still got to do a show on Whiteout. We'll do a show on the movie The Last American Virgin. And what else do we have here? I got so many things written down. Anyway, we got a lot of other stuff coming up. And whatever you guys might suggest that meets with your fancy. I guess we could talk about Indiana University, the number one ranked football team in the nation. Bet you didn't see that coming. I don't think anybody did. So maybe we'll just have to end it early. It's a special Sunday show. We normally don't use shows on Sundays, but we're going to do them probably throughout the holidays. So, and we do have that holiday song. Let me see if it's here by Leon Kennedy coming down the pike. I got a sneak preview of it, and it's going to be really good. It's going to be exceptionally good. As are all the rest of his. I guess you guys could tell me on the way out what song you want to hear. Dial G for Gulley. Podcast King. The Night the Spiders Attacked, which is the one everybody seems to want lately. I do have others. I have other big hits like The Show Must Go On. That's a good one. The Man from GULLEY and Tom Gulley Goes to Town. Just pick whatever one you'd like, and I'll play it on the outro. Chef says, it's cold here in Indy. Good day to make some soup. I'm sorry. Soup is awful. There's only a couple of good soups. There's beer cheese. There's French onion, if it's made properly, and tomato bisque, and that's it. The Wolf says, I was given the polygraph by one of Kennedy's Secret Service men. Was that during, well, yeah, you were in charge of security and stuff like that, so I'm sure you were. But you tell the truth all the time anyway. You're one of those guys. You're one of those fellas. So am I. Somebody asked me a question about the whatever verse. You know what? I think I would like to hear The Show Must Go On. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to play The Show Must Go On, and I'm going to play The Night the Spiders Attack back to back. Who cares? It's free, right? Right? And we'll get out of here. So get your comments in because I'm about to close this thing up. Because I'm looking at that old clock on the wall. And that says, like the Reverend Al Green, it's time for me to get on up out of here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And with all that being said, like, share, subscribe, repeat, notification bell, super chat, memberships. We, again, none, no memberships, no super chats. Go to the TomGulleyShow.com. We're converting all the video into audio-only podcasts. You can find that there, but you can also find our merchandise store. A vast array of top-quality name-brand merchandise, sure to add a charm and glow to any room. The squeals of delight you'll hear from people. CIA's here. So good results this weekend. The process is taking shape. See, I told you this was going to happen. Yeah, I'm trusting the process of bottling it. And I told you this would happen. So tired of excuses. Anyway, we're going to do The Show Must Go On, and then we're going to do The Night the Spiders Attacked. And then we're out of here. Totally out of here. So, with all that being said, Jean 1313's here. She says, bye all. Good to see you, Jean. Very good to see you. So with all that being said, I think the only thing left to say is, till next time, we'll see you next time.
When the daylight's fading and the world feels wrong, there's a voice on the airwaves, steady and strong, from the heart of the internet's wild frontier. Tom Gulley's talking, pull up a chair. He's got stories, he's got takes, he's got calls rolling in, from the tales of the weird to the shape of the spin. If you're tired of the noise and the nonsense online, there's a seat in the Gulley verse. Come take your time. The show must go on. The show must go on, with the mic burning bright through the dust to the dawn. Yeah, whatever goes wrong, The show must go on. He's the radio outlaw with a charm so sly, a storyteller's cadence and a wink in his eye. From the ghosts in the attic to the news of the day, Tom breaks it all down in his signature way. He's the king of the ramble, the lord of the yarn. He'll take you from evening straight through to dawn, with callers so strange you'd swear they're a bit. But Tom never wavers, he just rolls with it. The show must go on, the show must go on, with the mic burning bright through the dusk to the dawn. Yeah, whatever goes wrong, the Tom Gulley Show lives on. The show must go on. So grab your Dr. Pepper and settle in tight. Tom's firing up the airwaves tonight. Where the chaos of calm, he keeps steering the ship with a quip, a riff, and that gully grip. The show must go on, the show must go on, through the static and storms, every dusk, every dawn, from the heart of the net to the edge of beyond. The Tom Gulley Show lives on. Yes, the show must go on. It was late one evening, smooth and mellow and sweet. Tom Gulley on the airwaves, laying down that beat. He heard a little rustle, tapping soft and discreet. Turned around and saw some spiders dancing on their feet. All their legs were shiny gold, and the rhythm pure heat. He thought, hold on baby, these little fellas groove kinda crazy, and the whole room lit like a disco dream. Oh, that was the night the spiders attacked, but with disco hearts, baby, nothing got whacked. Skittering, jittering, never losing the tact. Tom Gulley smiling, feeling all the impact. Oh, honey, no one got sacked on the night. Oh, the night, the night, the night the spiders attacked. Christian Slater walks in with his Hollywood stride, leather jacket shimmering, grin open wide. He saw those tiny dancers moving side to side. Didn't take a minute for the man to join the ride. Every spider in the room kept the groove amplified. The lights flickered bright like a Motown stage, silky harmonies floating like we'd turn a new page. Spiders tapping rhythm like a miniature band. Oh, that was the night the spiders attacked, but with disco hearts, baby, nothing got whacked. Skittering, jittering, never losing the tact. Groove so smooth it bordered on abstract. Oh, honey, no one got sacked on the night, the night, the night the spiders attacked. Oh, that was the night the spiders attacked. Silver legs shimmering in every move exact. Glittering, gliding, keeping all the rhythm packed. Groove so heavy, every heartbeat sinking stack.